Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again. Today's video, we're actually going to be talking about the deadlift slippers from StrengthShop. And yes, don't let your eyes deceive you. They really are this floppy. Now be careful kids, safety first. You never want something this floppy near your face for too long. You might end up having a bad time. And that being said, I do like to do strength equipment reviews from time to time, only because again, you guys know from watching my channel, I literally have a ton of shit, from belts to socks to shoes to straps to wraps to everything in between. I buy it all, and in some cases I'm lucky enough to have it sent to me for free, but those cases are few and far between. So if you're watching this and you have a product, send me that shit for free. Yes, I'm serious. Now, the reason I like to do this though is as a consumer, I know oftentimes it's tough to make decisions on what we want to spend our hard-earned fat cash on because there's a lot of options out there and a lot of times they're very expensive. So Adidas or Nike, Reband, SBDs, Inzer, Titan, whatever, it's tough to make the decision, and once we make that decision, there's no turning back. Now in this case, it's a little bit of an outlier as these deadlift slippers, again from StrengthShop, are really cheap. $10.99, so the true definition of chump change. These things, no matter if you like them or hate them, you're not wasting a lot of money as is. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really looking forward to these. I didn't think I would like them, only because I'm not a big fan of barefoot lifting at all. I know some people like to pull that way, some people like to squat barefoot. I do not like that, I never have. So I wasn't really expecting much out of these. And again, based off the price, $11, I wasn't expecting much. Now that being said, I was pleasantly surprised. I love these things. I love big floppy things, especially when they're near my face. But I like these a lot, so much so in fact that I wear these exclusively when deadlifting now, and I've actually worn them for my last 2 powerlifting meets, and I do not think I could ever really go back to shoes. I've tried it on a few training sessions, and my heart is just about the big floppy black things in my face. I gotta be honest with you. And I think that if you pull conventional, you will really like them too. Now I said pull conventional here because number one, it's hard to put these on if you're eating butt, but it's also really hard if you're pulling sumo and you're spreading your legs appropriately and spreading your knees and really pushing outwards. As you can tell from the build quality of these things, they're literally just a sock with some rubber sole on it. So here's the outside part where your foot would go, and if you're pushing with your foot out, your foot is going to go over the sole and it's not going to be very comfortable. And the same thing could actually be true if you pull conventional and you have really wide feet. So again, the downside of paying for something that's only $11, you could probably see right here, if it wants to focus in a little bit, you see a little L for a size large. These are not really custom fitted, so you don't get your normal shoe size. You really fall into a range depending on what shoe size you wear, whether it be small, medium, large, extra large, whatever. So if you have a really wide foot, and even if you pull conventional, these things are fairly narrow, because I do not necessarily have wide feet, but I find that my feet kind of go over the edge on these just a little bit, so keep that in mind. Now that being said, again, you're not gonna have a ton of support on these, as again, they're just a sock with a little bit of rubber insole, but that's kind of the benefit of them in my opinion. So they still allow you kind of that barefoot feel, which I normally don't like, but because I have this nice little rubber sole that kind of cushion me just a little bit, give me just a little bit to know it's there, I do like these a lot. And why these are really beneficial, obviously, in the deadlift is because you want to really limit the range of motion as much as possible. That's why, like, an extreme example would be why people can pull so much on block pulls, because the range of motion is shortened so much. This gets you closer to the floor, which means you're closer to the bar, which means the bar has less room to travel overall. And just a little bit can make a big difference. Just ask my Beyonce. But I like these a lot. I would highly recommend them. Again, they're cheap enough to really go for that. Even if you don't like them, you're not wasting a ton of money. $10.99 isn't bad at all. Not to mention, I think they can be really beneficial if you pull conventional. They might take a little while to get used to, as they feel a little bit weird, especially if you have to go to the bathroom mid-set, and walking into the bathroom with these things, you feel like your feet are really dirty, even though there is some protection there. And a little bit of protection goes a long way. That's a life lesson. That one's for free. You're welcome. But I do think they're beneficial. When they would not be beneficial, if you have really wide feet or if you pull sumo, probably not gonna get much out of these. They are specifically for deadlifts. I would not recommend them for squatting or other lifting. But again, it's something that's nice that if you want to be as close to the bar as possible, I haven't found a pair of shoes that allow me to do this. And again, that's coming from someone who really likes those CrossFit Light TRs, which are extremely low, a lot closer than I think of Chuck Taylor's, and these are even better in my opinion, and they're a lot cheaper. So it's a really good option for someone who wants to give these a shot. And either way, you're not out of much money. Now, before I go, I do want to remind you that I'm partnered up with NASM, the National Academy of Sports Medicine. They're offering 2-week free trials of their online services, so you too can make that fat cash and buy things like deadlift slippers or other strength equipment. So if you're interested, there's a link in the description box below. But as always, in the meantime, thanks so much for watching and stay big.